Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 202. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside the Master of Fatalities, Mike.
Nice. Flawless victory. Um, yeah, so we're
Or,
going to
I'm
be talking
sorry,
about.
the Master of Heroic Brutalities.
Oh, yeah, they brought that in later, huh? And like
That was the DC versus Marvel game.
oh,
Because
okay.
superheroes can't kill everybody.
Yeah, so they're brutalities. Yeah, so today on the show, everyone, we have a very special guest, Sal Abinanti. He's going to talk about his graphic novel, The Hostage. You get a little taste of the art if you're watching my video right behind me, so stick around for that. Got some cool stuff to talk with him about.
Little taste
Um,
of the world of art repping as well, and some
yeah,
other
yeah,
things, comics that we don't normally get to see.
yeah. So it's pretty interesting stuff. And with that, I think we'll just jump right into the news, Chris. What do you think?
Let's do it. We got some
All right.
news.
Yeah. Yeah. So TV news. Disney Plus is getting another documentary series. Woo, yeah. Based around Marvel on March 12th. This one is called Assembled, and will show how different Marvel Cinematic Universe projects came together with behind-the-scenes look. Now, this is one I'm excited about.
So they did this with the Mandalorian. I don't know if you remember that or not, but
Yeah.
those are really good.
Yep.
So if they do that and they have because my favorite part of those Mandalorian documentaries where they had like these round table discussions with people who
hmm
were involved, and if
hmm
they do that with this, I'm all in.
I
That would
just
be
want to. I want to see the scene where like there's like some B shot footage of Kevin Feige standing at the meeting table with like a Captain America action figure with Thor's hammer and a giant Thanos figure, and he's like smashing them together, and there's all these like arrows and like universes pointing behind him, and Disney executives are just like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
just give him billions of dollars. It's
Yeah.
fine. He'll go away, and then we can talk about Star Wars again.
It's like, why? Wait. So Captain America can lift the hammer, and this Thanos guy, why is he purple? Yeah, so that I'm excited for that. A little more excited, and I hope you are too, for the HBO Max has released some images from its upcoming Aquaman animated series. Yeah, what do you think?
This is rough.
Yeah, I haven't seen the pictures yet, so
uh, Google the picture real
I will.
quick.
Yep.
Um,
Okay.
it it feels like it's really trying to go for a very young audience that's into this like weird animation art style that I don't
Mm,
quite like.
okay.
Um, it's not like fitting me, and I don't like how like
Oh,
Aquaman. If I remember, he had like blue hair or something
it
weird.
looks like, so if I had to describe this, it looks like if you're watching Adventure Time and you got lost in the Aquaman universe.
So that's what I felt, and I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to feel
Right.
like an angry old man because I don't
Yeah.
watch Adventure Time. But
Right.
that's how I felt. And I go, well, I guess another Aquaman thing, not for me, which sucks. But I'll at least check it out. But
But James Wan is directing it is the interesting part to me.
yeah,
Yeah. Which is, so I would understand if this was like a joke, like this was like an Adult Swim cartoon, like ha ha ha. But with James Wan directing it, um,
I
I,
wanted something more, and maybe not Batman the Animated Series exactly, but at least like New Adventures.
yeah.
Not like something that had somewhat of a maybe a unique art style, but still was like it looks like a human being, and
Yeah.
not this like wonky like acid trip art style that
Yeah. Like Fairly Odd Parents or something. Yeah. Like
yeah it
disproportionate, like their legs and arms. Okay. Well, now I
I
understand.
was
Yeah.
I was bummed by this, but I
Yeah.
I
I
will
mean,
give it a shot because it says
yeah.
Aquaman on the cover.
Yeah. Either way, like HBO Max, still thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
Um,
not everything can be a hit,
yeah.
and not everything can be for me.
Right.
So
Sure. Yep. Exactly. Um, yeah. Let's talk about something that is for us. WandaVision this week.
100%.
Um,
We can start this with I was wrong.
yeah. Everybody was wrong. Spoilers for WandaVision. Yeah. So we get the villain reveal in this episode. Um, we get the powers revealed. for the I can't think of the character's name right now that enters the barrier a few times.
Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, yeah, Rambo. I should be able to remember that name. But yeah, so she gets her powers because they tell her don't go back in, and you know what she does? She goes back in, and we see her like stretched across it almost looked like a multiverse thing, right? You get all these like iterations of the person. Like the barrier has something to do with the multiverse.
I think it was supposed to represent like spectrums of vision and like the world around us because
yeah, maybe. Mm-hmm.
Because when we see through her eyes, she's definitely seeing through wavelengths, almost like Daredevil.
Oh.
But
Well, he
not
doesn't
quite Daredevil.
see, but yeah.
Yeah, he's the blind man with the superpower of sight.
Yeah.
Um,
With
by
the
the way,
soap.
everybody, I love Daredevil.
Yeah, he does. He loves Daredevil. He's a huge Daredevil.
But yeah, like I got that feeling where she's looking at things and she was seeing like the electrical waves around it and like the different things. So that was kind of how I took her entering and like stretching and
Her
like
powers, her powers almost seem like she can absorb energy and like use it, right?
yeah, if I'm remembering her, because she's a very low. I mean, she's a powerful character, but a low level character in terms of popularity.
Okay.
So,
let's break down the episode a little more. The reveal is that her neighbor is a witch. She's a witch.
yeah, Agatha.
I wanted to say Kilgrave. Agatha something.
I had it in my head, and then I lost it.
But not a very popular villain, right? Harkness, yeah. Not a very popular villain, but it seems relative. Like she's a witch. That's really all that we know about her. She's a witch, but like the reveal is that in her basement, she's like got some book.
Yes.
And also there's a bunch of what is it?
The Darkhold.
Okay, can you explain that?
That is a very known Marvel mystical item, and it's basically the book to hold all like evil magic. Is the like simplest way to put it.
And am I mistaken in thinking like when she got to the basement, there's lots of doors going to different places, right?
Yeah, that would be correct.
So we have an evil magic book and a lot of doors going to places, and the next Doctor Strange movie is a multiverse of madness.
Yeah, it fits. From what I read, she is because this is a character I'm not too familiar with, everybody. Mm-hmm. She is a Doctor Strange-esque villain in the comics. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense. It makes sense for her to have the Darkhold and make that be like the big bad for the Mystic Universe because it's the big bad for the Marvel comics universe as well. And we already know that Scarlet Witch is going to appear in Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
So like it's all starting to connect together in terms of how it fits into what's happening in the future in terms of movies.
And can we talk about the best part of the show is the start where they did the Office intro.
Yeah.
They did the Office style intro, and that was the takes they were doing of like Wanda talking and then like cutting to her sitting there talking. Where that happens division, he's like, "What? Why the hell am I still sitting here? Like, no, I need to be getting out." Like that was pretty funny. And then there was I don't know if this was intentional, but there was a reference to like Parks and Recreation where because at the end she was like, "Oh, and it was me that killed the dog." She actually is a character in Parks and Rec that starts spreading a rumor that Leslie Knope murders a puppy or murders a dog. So I almost did that. I think they did that intentionally.
So, quick aside, I follow an account on Twitter that is Parks and Rec's quote set out of context.
Yeah.
And that was the quote they put out that day. Was a picture of her saying that. So, yeah, it is. This episode was definitely based around that kind of that 2000s, 2010s style of sitcom, which was The Office and Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And I really like that part. I liked Vision's little side quest he had. Mm-hmm. Because the sword base got transformed into a circus. Yeah. And then he finds Kate Dennings and zaps her. Then they decide to go back. and Wanda's trying to keep him away for some reason. And he's getting frustrated, and finally he's just like, I can fly, fuck it, and he leaves in case they're like, well, I guess I'll just like sit here then.
Yeah, right.
Did you also sit around for after the credits?
I was gonna say that, everyone. There is an after credits scene that I didn't know about until someone texted me that. So yeah, I did. Which is so first off, Wanda goes in the basement looking for her kids. Her kids aren't there. So, but I still think her kids are real because one of them starts talking about people in the town and how she doesn't they didn't sense a soul in her or something like that. And at first we think, oh, that's because her mind has been taken over. No, it's because she's an evil witch, probably without a soul. But and then the end is Pietro greeting Rambo. Rambo finds the basement, and then Quicksilver shows up behind her. And I'm not too convinced whether that Quicksilver is not real. I think that still might be the real Quicksilver.
I wonder if I think that Quicksilver's real, but he's not Quicksilver.
Okay.
That he's another entity pretending to be Quicksilver. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if they have to explain it. Maybe bringing that actor in to be Quicksilver was simply for us.
Right.
And they're just going to kind of let it go.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he's like either teamed up with her or if she's brought him in from like another universe to work with her or something. But I wonder if he's not actually Quicksilver. As far as her kids, once again, to my knowledge, because I'm not a huge Scarlet Witch fan, that is how her kids are born in the Marvel Comics universe, was through sheer will of magic.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So they could be real. And it's not unheard of in terms of the mythology we're going with. But I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to believe, because I think they're hinting towards a Young Avengers book, or movie or TV show. But it would be weird if they just kind of took that away, and now we're just kind of people fighting.
The big mind-blowing thing was the kid who plays her son, one of her sons. There's only 2 episodes left, people. We're only getting 9 episodes this season. And then, like, a week break between Winter Soldier, Falcon Winter Soldier. The kid that plays one of the kids, and you wouldn't even notice only because of his voice, is the kid with the glasses from Hill House. First season of Hill House. He's like the really cute kid with blonde hair, and he's got glasses, and he's like the one that sees Abigail, like one of the ghosts. So first off, this kid's, probably not even 8 years old, and he's already raking in the dough from a really successful Netflix series to being part of Disney and potentially, the Avenger, what did you say, Young Avengers or something? But that was
you said Hill House. Are you talking about Lock and Key?
No. Hill House is a lot like Lock and Key. You haven't watched that show?
No, I'm trying to figure out what Hill House is in my head, and I don't think I've heard of it.
Yeah, Hill House it was a novel, but it revolves around a family that lived in a haunted house, kind of like Lock and Key, where something happens with the parents, kind of like Lock and Key. You see where I'm going here?
Yeah.
But no, it's really good, and you should watch it. There's 2 seasons, and there's 2 separate houses. It's like an anthology series. Mm-hmm. The actors play different characters, and they're both really good seasons. I think you would like it because it's like horror. But about 5 or 6 episodes in, you find out that the horror is related to a life event, and then it becomes not so scary anymore. Like, it's more interesting. So you should really check it out. I'm curious to get updates from you if you watch the first season. So
I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah, Hill House, Haunting a Hill House. But anyways, WandaVision's great, and I can't wait for next week. I even started watching it before work now. Like, I'll wake up early before I go to work and put it on.
Yeah, I love it because Friday is my busiest day of the week. So Friday I work, I go to the comic shop, I go grocery shopping, I get home 7:30, 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And then I come home, we put everything away, I sit down, I watch WandaVision. And it's I love that. It's such a great.
Yep.
And this show has been fantastic. It just keeps getting better, in my opinion.
Movie news. Okay, the Mortal Kombat trailer dropped, and you know, as with any video game movie property, we're always a little hesitant. Maybe Sonic the Hedgehog started to turn the tides for us or something. But I still haven't watched it. But I know you didn't hate it.
And I have
Yep.
another person I know, another person we both know, talked to me the other day who watched it recently and said they agreed with me. It's fun. It's not the best movie ever, but just a fun hour and a half.
I'll probably watch it next weekend because it just got put on Hulu. But anyways, I have very my like childhood growing up. You know, me being 6 years old in Irvine, California. If I was to tell you my one fond like not my one memory, fond memory, only fond memory, but and my sister can confirm this. You know, I would watch two movies on rewind because VHS, literally rewind. One was The Three Ninjas or Beverly Hills Ninja. It was a combination of the two. Mostly Beverly Hills Ninja because Chris Farley is a genius.
Yeah, that's the right choice.
The second one was Mortal Kombat. Little did I know that they had the same actor. If you remember, his brother in Beverly Hills Ninja was actually Luke Cage, or not Luke Cage,
Johnny Cage.
Luke. Well, I can't think of his last name. Luke Kang. Yes, Luke Kang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're the same actor. I'm pretty sure. I'm just making that connection right now. Holy shit. But I would. So this is what I would do. I would put on the intro because that soundtrack is fucking amazing for that movie. It was so good.
So
yeah,
when COVID first started and they made it mandatory in New York to wear the masks.
Yeah.
And we all got I don't think I have it on, but like we all got the mask and it's like, oh, it looks like fucking Sub-Zero or something.
Yeah, right.
And me being a giant dork and loving to just make people laugh,
mm-hmm.
I walked up to the door where we had to put our key fob in, and I had my speaker in my hand, and I blasted the Mortal Kombat song, and then entered the building.
Yeah.
To get like temped and everything. And my boss just looks over at me like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and it's awesome. Yeah. I love that you did that because I would play that. I would rewind that movie just to play the intro song, and I would jump off the couch and do kicks and like punches, and it was so awful, and I'm such a geek, but it was awesome. And even now, I recently watched the 1995 movie. The second one never happened, and I'm sitting there, and my sister and I are grown up now, and we watched it. And I'm like, that was still enjoyable. You had I can't think of his name, but this guy from Highlander playing Raiden. Like Raiden's the best part. Like, and that was the height of his acting, dude. Those Highlander movies, like, what a time for him to be like as Raiden. Okay, now let's go to the trailer. I talk about that because they've definitely incorporated a lot from that original movie, and they definitely understand their fan base to extend that. Like, this is a little bit of a love letter to that movie, but it's also new and improved. Like, we see Sub-Zero and Scorpion getting their own, iconic moments of like, but this one is like he cuts a guy and then freezes his blood midair and then stabs him with it. I'm like, that's such a Mortal Kombat fucking thing to do. It was awesome.
They showed a few moments that was like, these are straight out of the game.
Yeah.
Fatalities.
But also, one of the best parts of the trailer for me was Hiroyuki Sanada playing Scorpion. I love that actor. I think the most recent thing he was in was Westworld. He played the the like samurai in Westworld. But that guy's an amazing actor. He's one of those actors that like pops up and like if they ever have like a samurai person or like kung fu person, you're like, oh, there he is. He's in another movie. He was even in the original The Wolverine movie, but whatever, we don't talk about that movie either. But I am so excited for this movie. And another thing coming out on HBO Max. It's like April. It's a couple months from now. I cannot wait.
I think the next 3 in a row, or at least they're gonna hit in a row, is gonna be, this is the most Mike sentence ever, Justice League Snyder Cut, Uh, Godzilla versus King Kong, and then Mortal Kombat.
You know why I subscribe to HBO Max for this half of the year. Like, there's a reason, and I keep like every time like my sister and I will text each other about a trailer. I'm like, it's so worth the money. Like,
So the other side to that, I watched it, and I really love that movie as well. I don't think I had as much of a connection as you. I really enjoyed it.
Very fond.
And that soundtrack was fantastic for that
it
first
slaps.
one.
Yeah.
I think I had. This is how old I am. I think I had the cassette tape.
Of the soundtrack?
Yes.
Dude, I didn't even know that got made. What the hell?
I remember having a cassette with that song on it. It might have been the actual soundtrack. But anyways,
yeah.
I watched it and I felt like, okay, it looks like a Mortal Kombat movie. And that's fine. Like that's all I want out of it.
But like as far as like straight to TV movies, you know, technically straight to TV, like the trailer for Kong Godzilla wasn't bad. The trailer for Mortal Kombat wasn't bad. We saw the Snyder Cut trailer. It's like, damn, you know, this is great stuff.
The other thing that kind of sucks is
what?
Godzilla. I would love to see in theaters.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat. I kind of want to see it in a theater.
Yeah, I would love to see it in a theater. Yeah, that's the only downside is like, man, I would really love to see it in a theater. It probably won't in a couple months. But I'm kind of lucky here that this apartment complex has like a mini theater with like those recliner seats, and the screen is like, I don't know, like probably 80 inches or something like that. And I don't know if I'm allowed to rent it out for COVID or not, but I'm like thinking about calling them up and reserving the Friday for that Mortal Kombat comes out and seeing if I can watch it, because they have like streaming services attached to it too. So yeah,
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
it's interesting the dynamic though that's like going on with these new streaming services, because I'm like planning on watching it with my sister, and to being like, hey, we got to meet up this weekend. You know, we're about a few hours from each other, but I'm like, we got to hang out that weekend because we're sitting down and watching it together. Like, you know, you're making plans with people to watch streaming movies, you know, where it's like where you used to go to the movies with someone, you know. So anyways, but if you couldn't tell, I love the trailer. So excited. And we're getting all the favorite characters. You know, you got Kano, you got Jax, wasn't in the original, so that's cool to see him. It's cool to see him get his arms frozen off by Sub-Zero in the beginning. That was sick. Like, who needs an origin story? It's like, arms got frozen off, he has metal arms now. Okay, moving on. Perfect. Anyway, so one more thing from Warner Brothers. They announced that the upcoming Flash movie has casted as Supergirl. So Flash is now turning into, I don't know, Justice League International or some shit. Sasha Calais will play Kara El in the upcoming movie. I don't know what's going on with this movie anymore. It's been rewritten several times. No, the directors have come and gone. Characters, it was Cyborg, and
I don't believe this is a real movie.
Yeah,
I at the point where I'm just like, they just like announcing things.
Yeah,
and I'm not even getting myself excited about Michael Keaton coming back anymore, because I'm just like, I don't believe this is a real movie anymore.
Yeah, right.
Because when are we filming? Like, where's the script? Like, what's going on? Stop announcing actors and like get your shit together.
Well, the film, going to site for filming, he's just got to be on a treadmill for the whole movie. So like, that's easy. Yeah. They could film that in his house.
He's Flash. He runs real fast. So
yeah, so they'll just film it on a treadmill and put a moving background or something.
That's all it is. It's just like, oh, look at Supergirl. Hey, it's Michael Keaton from Batman. Oh man, look at that. Like,
he's just running. He just sees that. Like, that's our brief description of the DC cinematic universe. Like, here's all the upcoming stuff. It's just Flash running. Like, oh look, Martian Manhunter.
And then at the end, Flash blows up and then reforms into a different actor playing it.
Yeah, and that's it. Yep.
Sorry, Brett. I'm not a big fan of Ezra Miller as Flash.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay.
He's not bad. I was not a big fan.
Anyways, let's jump to this awesome interview we have with Sal, and we'll see everybody on the other side.
And we're back.
Hey, everyone. So please check it out. A few days left there, so give Sal your money. He greatly appreciates it. Always fun to have a fellow contender and a lover of indie comics. So, yeah, I mean, that little speech at the end there to get your stuff made. I was like, I don't have an idea, but now I want to make a comic. He motivated me, so.
So he demotivated Mike because what he wanted to do was
Yeah.
make his own Batman.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And then he remotivated
Right.
Mike.
Well, you've always heard I've talked about my pitch for a comic. We won't talk about it again. It was like always like the superheroes, but in their downtime. It was going to be called Downtime, and it was going to be like the Flash at the DMV waiting line. Batman when he opens up his utility belt and he's got like a PB&J in there, and he's like taking a 5-minute break on a rooftop somewhere eating a PB&J. Like I still have those ideas in my head. Maybe it'll get made one day. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, he reaffirmed something for me, and it's something that I've often thought about and then smashed because I don't want to do it, but I do want to do it, which is like I'll never get to do Captain America, but I have Captain America stories.
Right, and what you write, no offense, will probably never be as good as like the original era stuff of like the classics. But like even if I ever wrote Batman, you'll never be as good as like what Scott Snyder did or like a Grant Morrison story. Like maybe I don't know.
Maybe not. Never know.
But keep making your own things and doing what you love. Anyways, with that, we'll get into the comic book news before I get demotivated anymore. Marvel has announced that a former Avengers Academy student is getting his own limited series. The series will center around Reptile. Is it Reptile or Reptile?
Reptile.
So it is Reptile, but whose power is to shapeshift into dinosaurs. It's going to be written by Terry Blass and art by Enid Ballum. So I had no idea this character existed.
Me neither until this announcement. It seems like a not so great Beast Boy.
Yeah.
Like literally Beast Boy's power is he can turn to any like beast. So he can turn into a dinosaur if he wants.
Right. Yeah, oh that's true, I guess, yeah.
And now this is just like, oh, he can do that, but only dinosaurs. Which I mean, for a little kid, that's cool.
Yeah, right. But, I guess I didn't think about that. Like he is the worst version of Beast Boy because we have seen Beast Boy do the T-Rex thing, So,
so it's a no, not for me at least.
I mean, there's some dinosaur fans out there though that are going to eat this up. I mean, there's people that just see dinosaurs and that's it.
And there's I mean, this is a weird one because Avengers Academy failed.
Yeah.
But there's some Avengers Academy fans out there who are like, "Oh yeah, I really liked Reptile," and like all three of them are just like, "Okay."
All three. Damn, shitting on Marvel. I love it. Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, is getting an ongoing series this May. The series will follow the events of the recent limited series and one shot that put him in a larger Marvel universe. It'll be written by Jean Louis Yang and art by DK Ruan. So yeah, that was confusing to me because I didn't realize the initial Shang-Chi book was a limited series, and then this one shot was supposed to put him in the bigger universe with that lady Deathstrike or whatever her name was. I was just like, I was confused because I'm like, what is the name of the Shang-Chi book I'm supposed to be reading? Because I had 6 issues of Shang-Chi, then I got a Legend of Shang-Chi, and now it's like, okay, now he's getting an ongoing series. So I'm getting another number one, like Marvel. You're making it really hard for me to follow my favorite character.
And you know what this book is called?
What?
Shang-Chi.
Oh my god. Whoever does these number ones or does the numbering over there, like, please just figure it out, Marvel.
I really think this is a victim of COVID, not to bring up COVID for the 8,000th time. But
right.
Where this movie was supposed to be out.
Yeah.
Like we were supposed to be getting it like around May.
Right.
It might have even been our free comic book day movie this year. And obviously that's not happened.
Yeah.
So they probably released this miniseries and we're like, oh my god, look at this is not bad. Let's do an ongoing. Fuck it.
But we have to have the number one release somewhat near the movie. It's like, watch, we're gonna get another Black Widow ongoing. They're gonna reset the numbers.
It's all their planning to line up with movies and stuff just went to shit real quick.
Yeah.
And it's the same creative team for that miniseries, though, right?
Right. Nothing's changed.
Write it?
Yeah,
So
Gene. Yeah, yes, and the thing was they left it on a cliffhanger, so it was like you knew there was another issue coming. Like they didn't end it on at the miniseries, so there's a cliffhanger that was like more is coming. So that's why I was confused. I'm like, oh, is the book ending? Nobody
yes,
told me. It's like, yeah, they reveal his like father at the end. You're like, oh my god, like, oh, the book's over. Yeah. Anyways, nice job, Marvel. Marvel is giving Boba Fett his own crossover. Okay, really nice job.
fuck yeah.
Yeah. So okay, you redeemed yourself. Event inside the Star Wars line of comics. First issue will be called War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha #1. It's so I know what this is about. This is going to be like Godzilla, where Boba Fett's Godzilla. It's going to be its own miniseries titled War of the Bounty Hunters. The series will be written by Charles Soule and art by Steve McNiven. Awesome creative team, awesome character. Chris is mailing his check as we speak.
Yeah. Charles Soule, do more Star Wars. I love it.
Yeah, he was on the
Even his
original Vader
novels.
stuff, right? He did the Vader.
Yeah, Vader stuff. He's doing
Yeah.
the current Star Wars book, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done some High Republic novels that are really good. And it's all based around, we're in the point in the comics right now, we're in between Empire and Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what Boba Fett did with Han and Carbonite in between the movies. So I'm interested because Boba Fett obviously didn't just fly over to Jabba and say, "Here you go." Like he took it places and took selfies with it and shit.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but anything with Boba Fett, let's do it.
Take the money. DC's adding even more comics to its digital first initiative because nobody really signed up for it yet. The first will be Batman 89, which will start right after the events of the movie. Is written by Robert Venditti and art by Wilfredo Torres. Holy shit. Okay. All right. I'm listening now, DC. Okay. And not to be left out will be Superman 78, taking place after the events of the Richard Donner movie, which will be written by Sam Hamm with art by Joe Quinones. I'm a little more excited about Batman than Superman, but still, these are big ideas going on here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for these.
I mean, people have been asking for this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, those are two of the most iconic
Yeah.
comic book movies of all time.
Also, I'm a little worried about following up a Richard Donner Superman. I mean, yeah, you could do a Bruce or Tim Burton, Batman movie, but like Richard Donner is going to be hard to follow.
So the Superman one, I probably won't even check out. Like, I love that movie. I even like the following movies. Like they're what they are. Batman 89, I would have said, I don't really care. Like the movie was what it was, and I'm not saying it's bad, but I enjoyed it. And then I saw Robert Venditti, and I was like, oh, you'll get at least one issue out of me.
Yeah, I'm going to read the first issue. Yeah. So this is you're heading in the right direction, This is the stuff the fans want is what you should. The stuff that fans want that you can put in a little less effort than printing a comic. These are the things that should be going exclusively to digital.
So we've done Batman 66.
Yep.
Let's throw that to the side. We've done Wonder Woman. I forget the year, but we did that. Now we're doing Batman 89. Now we're doing Superman 78. Next up's got to be Flash 90. We're assembling the Justice League here, people. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
All these books need to cross over into a Justice League.
Oh my god. 60s Batman at the head of the Justice League. Please.
Well, even either take 89 Batman, do that, or you got to choose a Batman at some point. Because there's 50 of them.
Right.
But I'm saying, we're literally assembling the Justice League through these TV shows and movies throughout, the older generation's versions.
Yep.
Why not eventually just do a Justice League with them?
Yeah. Take his idea, DC. It's free. During the week, DC gave a digital presentation for retailers that announced a bunch of new titles. No creative teams yet. But we got the series, so we could talk about if we're just hyped for the series. So uh the series are as follows: Deathstroke Incorporated.
Meh.
Eh. Harley Quinn animated series sequel. So this is a comic book follow up to the Harley Quinn series.
Meh.
I do like the Harley Quinn animated series though. I just don't.
I haven't even watched it. I can just tell you, like, it's the one animated series that I do read comics based on is
Yeah.
Batman animated series,
Right,
and
right.
even that, like, I'm not super stoked to get into.
Yeah,
So I doubt.
even Rick and Morty, it's just not the same. Like if something works as animated, the comic book is hard to get into. A Wonder Woman 80th anniversary title. Okay.
Good for Wonder Woman fans.
Elseworld. Okay.
Inject it into my veins.
Yes, that I'll just chop it up and snort it. DC Vampires. Okay.
Could be interesting.
All right.
I want to hear more.
Robin and Batman.
Depends who Robin is.
Yep. Joker puzzle box. What the
fuck no?
What the
sounds like an event to me. That sounds like the event book.
The Legend of Batman. Okay.
If this is, I don't know, I think it's called Batman Gotham Knight, which was an animated movie based around Nolan's Batman.
Yeah.
Which was people telling stories of their version, like what they perceived Batman to be. If that's what this book is, and they get a good creative team behind it, I'm down.
Yep. Crush and Lobo. Okay.
Fuck no.
What the hell? Nubia and the Amazons.
I don't know what a Nubia is, but okay.
DC Middle Ages. Okay. There's some little treats in this bundle. This is like a $5 bin DVD bundle, or I guess it'd be Blu-ray bundle at Walmart, and like you're digging through it, like, oh, like, here's the Goonies, like I found one that's good. Like
if as long as Batman has one of those what do they call them, maces with the swinging, riding a horse ready to like punch Joker in the face with it, I'm in.
Yep. I don't see why this isn't a thing now. I mean, we've seen glimpses of it with Elseworld, so maybe this is all related to Elseworld, because we know the DC Vampires is another universe. Middle Ages stuff, we've seen that before. There's a few things that I'm interested in here. So
yeah, I have the feeling that Elseworld is going to be an ongoing with rolling creative teams. Like, this is my feeling of what they're going to do with it. So it's going to be that, and every creative team gets to tell their own little, like, their own story, a la Red Sun, a la Gotham by Gaslight, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
As opposed to doing them as individual miniseries.
Right. That makes sense. And then they also said that they're going to be part of Free Comic Book Day this year. So, which
was up in the air because that's a diamond thing. So
yeah, which is a touchy. We're still in that cusp of like it may or may not happen. So
it may or may not. I'm leaning toward the side of will happen for the general public.
Yeah.
I won't speak for my own personal life or my retailer's life, but they moved it to August already. So, and according to stuff, we're talking maybe July before people are fully vaccinated and all that. So I hope so, because I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go back to doing things.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, for sure. So let's hope. Todd McFarlane has announced that 2021 is the year of Spawn. Okay,
let's do it.
All right, Todd. Put your money where your mouth is. With his proclamation, he said that there will be more concrete news about his new Spawn movie, and the franchise will launch 4 new comic series in the Spawn universe. This will all start with a one-shot called Spawn Universe Number 1, and it'll start with 3 new ongoing titles launched in the months to follow. The series are called The Gunslinger, King Spawn, and The Scorched. No concrete creative teams have been announced, but some interesting names are attached to these books, like Donny Cates. Okay.
Sold.
Sean Murphy.
Sold.
What? Frank Quitely.
Sold.
What? Greg Capullo.
Sold.
Is this like a fan fiction thing happening right now? Mark Silvestri, Brett
Sold.
Booth, David
Sold.
Finch, many
Sold.
more. What do you mean, many more? That's it. You just literally grabbed the best writers and artists in the industry.
So, peek behind the curtain, everybody. When stories like this pop up, where it's just like, here's a shit ton of creative people, and these are involved.
Yeah.
I usually pick the names. Like, I usually pick 3 to 5 names that are like,
Right.
these are the best ones.
Yeah.
The list didn't end of the best ones.
You're like, okay, we can stop at Donny Cates, and you're like, oh, Sean Murphy, oh, Frank Quitely, where the hell's he been? Oh, Greg Capullo, wait, Silvestri.
And what's weird is, like, I'm not a Spawn guy.
Yeah, me either.
And I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I am. I'm like, when is this book coming out? I'm gonna read, dude. I'm reading all these books. Let's go. This is a Spawn. It's gonna be Spawncast pretty soon. We're gonna.
I will say I've been trying real hard to like get myself to read Spawn because it's something there that interests me.
Right.
And I bought a Humble Bundle way back, and I have like probably the first 300 issues plus a bunch of miniseries digitally. And I think I'm going to jump on it now and try it and try to read, a couple trades a month or something and see if I like Spawn.
Yep.
Because this, like, I'm without a doubt, Donny Cates gets my money. Without a doubt, Sean Gordon Murphy gets my money.
Oh yeah.
So, and then
Greg Capullo, Frank Quitely. I haven't seen a Frank Quitely book in years.
Yeah, like Frank Quitely is another one. Greg Capullo, I love Greg, but if I don't know, he's done Spawn before and I didn't buy it, so
yeah, his art has definitely changed now.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, either way, that's amazing
still,
stuff.
like,
yeah,
I have 3 guys there who will get my money, and 3 guys who could be working on 3 separate books.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's 3 writers listed there. So
yeah, I couldn't believe how excited I was for a Spawn thing when my entire Spawn knowledge is the 90s movie.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. No, I agree.
Oh, and the animated series. I did watch the animated series.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
Yeah. I have it. It's hilarious. Especially there's intros from Todd McFarlane back in the 90s when he was still like, late 30s or so, trying to be like metal.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, guys, in the Spawn, in the deep depths of the Spawn universe. And it's like, okay,
oh my God.
Chill out, man. I
thought
love
they had
Todd, but chill out.
Wasn't there a new animated series on Amazon or something? Or
no, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Like, that was back in the 90s. It wasn't Amazon, it was HBO.
Oh, okay.
I think I have the DVD around here somewhere. I could probably find it.
Oh, wow. We're not going to watch it. We're going to talk about the comics we read this week. Just a quick follow-up on the graphic novels that I finished American Vampire Volume 1. That was just a setup for where all the characters are, all the different vampires. So a lot of that going on, like how we have there's like a Daywalker vampire, right? There's the old rich vampires. And then there's like the one that's more like rabid almost, like, feral vampire, I guess. So really interesting stuff. And
I love it.
Yep. Go ahead.
I was say I love that universe because of what you're saying.
Yeah.
It took every vampire out there.
Yep.
And gave it its own, like, like the rich old vampires, like the Transylvania vampires. They're all like kind of in Europe.
Yeah.
And then this new breed of vampire comes in America. And then those feral ones happen kind of over in Asia and the islands and everything.
Yep.
And they're just, you'll see throughout it, you get more and more different versions of vampires throughout the history. I love that series. Yeah.
Yeah. And it like ends with like the woman has a daughter and they find like her father's killer is one of the vampires. And they she rolls up like many years later and says, that's, that was your father's murder or something like that. So, Snow Angels #1. I know you read this, last week. Jeff Lemire Jock. Interesting story, not a whole lot going on. The family lives in an icy trench, and it's like a post-apocalyptic thing where, you can tell tech and futuristic stuff used to exist. There's these stories of, like, if you leave this trench, the snowman will kill you, and they get back to the town. This guy and his 2 daughters, young daughters, they're on a hunting trip. This robotic thing has killed the whole town, and they refer to it as the snowman. So, interesting to see where it goes, but yeah, not bad.
Yeah, the creative team alone will get me into issue 2.
Oh, for sure.
but I
Um,
wasn't blown away by issue 1.
I read Shadow Doctor #1. This is a Aftershock book. Not something I normally read, but it's I think it's more. It came out this month. It's more relative to Black History Month for sure. Pete Calloway and writing it, and George Jeanty on art. It's actually a true story. It's the story of a black man in the 1930s who used to work for the mob. He was a driver for like guns and stuff. He witnesses a really bad event, like he almost dies. Like they get jumped on the road that they're driving, and he decides to change his life and become a doctor. Well, then he can't find any work. He can only find work at a black hospital. He can't work at a hospital that white people go to because they're afraid that they like won't go visit them because they have a black doctor. So he decides to go back to the mobster that he used to work for back in the day. Now that he's a doctor, come to find out, the guy he goes to and asks for a job is Scarface. So this is the story of a guy who used to work for Scarface, and he's telling his son as he's in the hospital, like dying with cancer.
Scarface the mobster?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So he's a doctor. I'm guessing he's a doctor for Scarface. It was a cool story. The art's really good, and it's a true story too, so that makes it interesting, I think. Nice little twist at the end. Future State Shazam #2. This is the Tim Sheridan and Eduardo Pansica book. Have you read this?
I did not get a chance. I'll say it here. I did not get a chance to read a whole lot this week, so we definitely didn't cross over on anything.
So we get a little more insight to what's going on with Shazam. He basically is Shazam in his powerful form. He's the raw power with no clarity. That's what Billy Batson gives Shazam. Like, a lot of people argue like Billy Batson does nothing for Shazam. No, he gives him clarity and vision on where he using his powers for good. Right? He has the childlike, exuberance of like I have powers, but also he knows right from wrong. Well, we find out that Nero, in Hell, tells Shazam, "Hey, I can let you go. Like I can separate you from Billy." Because he says, I can't say the Shazam words and change him back because you'll take the powers from me. He goes, well, I can make you a deal. I can separate you two guys. Well, he separates him and imprisons Billy down there to, keep the Rock of Eternity. He's basically like locked it down to where like Billy is chained to the Rock of Eternity. Nobody can get to the Rock of Eternity because Billy's there protecting it. This is like a deal they made. But Shazam gets influenced by Nero. He puts his visions in Shazam. So we realize Shazam's been going around killing these villains because he sees demons that aren't there, and he sees these villains as demons. That's why he's killing them. So the Spectre shows up because he's pissed. He's like, "Dude, you can't be just murdering people." He's like, "I don't know what's going on here." And the art is amazing, by the way. Like the art of like Spectre grabbing Shazam is just amazing, and then he locks him down. He's talking to him. Shazam breaks out, stabs him with a piece of the rock of or the spear of destiny, which is the spear that supposedly pierced Christ on the cross or whatever. It gives you a lot of power. He kills the Spectre. So with this, they the Justice League or whatever's left of them is like, oh shit, we got to do something. Like he's gone off the deep end. Killing the Spectre also was related to what's going on in Hell. So now that the Spectre's gone, there's no one to keep the person in Hell that wants to get out in check. That's what we find out as Nero is trying to release someone. We find out that the question or the person posing as the question is actually Deadman. He pops up and he's like, okay, now I really need to take over. So he takes over Shazam's body and gets him to say Shazam, which it brings Billy back to Earth, and he's all like white haired and his eyes are bleeding and shit. He's all messed up from being in Hell. And he's like, no, what have you guys done? So now he's not down there to protect the Rock of Eternity. Well, the deal is done now, and Neron, Neron. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but he releases the queen, or so-called, in Hell, which is Raven from Teen Titans.
Oh, that's
but
cool.
But she's got like the Trigon eyes, so she's definitely gone full evil, crazy, like Lord of Hell, like Queen of Hell. So she's been released.
she is the daughter of Trigon, right?
Yeah, she's the daughter of Trigon. So like this is
Yeah.
it's not like Raven, like human form looking Raven. This Raven that looks like Trigon. Like
Okay.
she looks evil as hell. Um, so Neuron's deal was that he gets the Rock of Eternity and she gets the powers of Shazam. So she basically has like the like rocks around her that she has the wisdom of Solomon and stuff. So she's like super powered. Don't know what's going to happen, but it was a really interesting storyline, I think. Batman slash Catwoman #3. This is the Tom King Clayman book. Now remember, people, there's 3 timelines going on in this book. There's the main timeline, present day timeline, where old Catwoman and kills old Joker. There's the little before that where there's oh man. That's the one with Phantasm going around killing everyone. Killing everyone related to Joker. And then there's the one before that where Catwoman and Batman are just getting together, I think.
Yeah, it's at least the first 2 issues, because I didn't get to read this one, but it was them, like, after they got married, like, right after.
Yep.
So them early on, and then them in present day dealing with Phantasm, and then Bruce dead, Selina, old woman.
Yeah.
Future.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we find out in the future that Helena is Bat and Cat's daughter, is now the new Batwoman, but she has like a combination of their suits. And Dick Grayson is the commissioner. So what happens is after Catwoman kills the Joker, they find this man dead in Florida and think, hey, this is the Joker. Even though it's in Florida, they still think, oh, well, we should go figure it out. So that'll lead more towards the end of the story. Joker won't cooperate with Selina in the old times, where she's trying to like lead Batman astray for the things that she wants to steal. It's really funny because she cracks a safe and then Joker's like crunched up, like hiding in the safe, which is kind of funny. But they don't really reveal what the relationship is. Like he's kind of like, he tells her about a crime that where he's gonna like kill some people, but he's like, you could tell Batman if you want him to save it, but also if you tell Batman, he'll know about a relationship that you have with me. So it's kind of like a catch-22. Then in the Phantasm timeline, the Batman tells Joker, he's like, I'm just going to let Phantasm find you because he's kind of fed up about it. And then in the future timeline, Helena, the Batman Catwoman daughter, finds a clue. It looks like a claw or something, like a nail in the carpet at the because the cops didn't find it in Florida, obviously, because they suck. But she finds it at the apartment where Joker was killed, and then she lies to her mother. She lies to Catwoman, says, "No, I didn't find anything." So she's like almost like torn between like, yeah, it's her mom, but also she committed murder, and she thinks that's bad. So interesting story so far, I think. But that's what I had this week.
Oh, so I only had 2 books. I wasted one of them on Captain America 27.
Oh, damn. Wasted it, huh?
There is a cheat code for me on Captain America, and that's insert Red Skull here. And that's what this issue was Red Skull finally came out and was like, this is my plan, my master plan. And and they kind of swept under the last 26 issues because they're like, oh yeah, Thunderbolt Ross is alive. So, Steve, you're cleared of murder charges. Move on with your life. And it's like, okay. He kind of stumbled over that one, but I'm just... So, quick aside, there was a thing on CGC recently, and it was Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman signing books and like answering questions.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions was like, how are you guys going to feel not working with each other anymore? And Donnie just looks at the camera and goes, just because we're not doing Venom doesn't mean we're not working with each other. And I was just sitting there going like, please do Captain America. Please do Captain America. I will orgasm. Speaking of Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, King of Black #4.
Nice. Awesome.
So we got Dylan in this, like, he's been consumed by Null and he's being talked to by Null, and Null's giving him the whole like speech like, join me and we would rule the galaxy as father and son. And while that's going on the outside, all the heroes are making this plan to try to help Dylan use his powers while also using all of theirs to just snap him out of there and, you know, put a blow to Null. And that happens. Like, they do that, everybody does their part, and they get Dylan out, and Null is punched back and is like, okay, like, you got me this time, but you haven't defeated me. And then while that's going on, Silver Surfer comes to Earth, and he has the God of Light, which we find out is just it's almost like the Phoenix Force. Like, it's just this force, and it chooses a person to be the God of Light. And that's the person who has to fight against Null, the God of Darkness. So Silver Surfer gets there, and he finally breaks through, and he gets to Earth, and he just says, okay, go choose your avatar. And anybody who does not want this spoiled, please jump 30 seconds into the future. Surprise, surprise, it chooses Eddie as its avatar, who is dead.
Okay.
So that's interesting. But so we got one more issue to go. I got a feeling it's gonna be like an oversized issue because there's a lot of like stuff they gotta conclude to get it there. But I really loved it. I thought it was a great issue. I'm liking Dylan just as a character. I hope that he continues in more Marvel stuff.
Cool.
But we'll see.
Awesome.
That's all I had, Mike. So where can people find you on that internet?
Find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
They can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter, and they can find the show at Fortress Comics _ or at fortresscomicnews.com, where everything we do is right there on that handy dandy website. Also, you can go over to youtube.com/fortresscomics, and if you're watching this on that YouTube channel, you can go there and give us the thumb up down below, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell notification, all the YouTube stuff. We're a podcast. I don't know.
The Yotobes. Yeah, do that.
And if you're listening on a podcatcher, to do the 5 stars, the whatever their form of telling them that you like us, do that, because it helps us reach more listeners, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, we do.
And then if you want to be the super duper ultra mega awesome listener, go over to Patreon at patreon.com/fortresscomics. I think that's everything this week, so thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you.